My name is Joep, but some of you might also know me by my Instagram alter ego Parked in Dutch Streets. Ever since I became a car spotter, I've met loads of interesting fellow car enthusiasts and car spotters. In this podcast, you'll meet one of these car lovers every episode. We'll talk about the cars of their lives, the cars they like, and the cars they despise. This is the Carspotcast. Welcome back to a new episode of the Carspotcast. We're in a nice little run. I think it's the 8th or 9th episode already, and I'm having fun having all these guests over. I think it's a lot of fun, and I've got a lot of nice feedback from you guys too, so thank you for that. Also for connecting on Instagram, for sending me your car spots. That is really nice. I love to post them too. And also, this is me begging for your likes. If you could give me the 5 stars rating, it would be very helpful for not only me, but also the future guests that are going to join, because it just helps them get some more recognition and get them pushed in the algorithm in Spotify. So yeah, do that. Please, thank you already. And with that said, I'm going to welcome our new guest. Came all the way from Scotland, so that is a first for me. Someone traveling to me and not me to them. That is perfect. Will, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I'm going to use your newly founded Instagram handle for this, which is Will I Drive, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Your original one, your private account was Will Drive, right?
Yeah, so I had to change it because my old username was used for everything, and then it was getting hacked, so I picked a new one.
Oh, okay.
And I picked Will Drive.
Yeah,
it seemed to work.
I mean, it's a big part of your life, the cars. And you now made a specific account for that.
Yeah, so I have a lot of pictures on my phone of cars. People, especially when I went on holiday to Portugal, and I found all of the La Lagunas.
It has been 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yes. Yes. I think I've beaten Morris's record.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah, but that's my thing, La Laguna. I think for the same as a lot of the other guys as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to just put them somewhere else.
Probably starts working at some point. People start following you, liking that stuff. Because how many followers do you have right now?
Not that many, I don't think, but that's okay. It's
maybe after this episode a bit
more.
Yeah,
maybe afterwards everyone will come follow me and enjoy the pictures of shit cars that I found.
Lagunas with 3 wheels.
That'll be my Laguna.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I have a whole 129 followers.
Which is good.
Which is good.
1 or 2 months ago, which is good.
Yeah.
Could you introduce yourself? Who are you? Where are you from? How do we know each other? And how do you express your love for cars?
Yeah, so I'm Will. I am... my Instagram is will.i.drive. Probably many of the cars I will not drive, but they're a whole selection of shit
It's a
boxes.
rhetoric question. Will I drive it? No.
Yeah. How do we know each other? I was thinking about this on the train here, and we started talking, I think, 2019, maybe?
Whoa, you were really early.
Yeah. In the early
Holy
days.
crap, because
Parked in Dutch Streets, yeah.
Because, I didn't properly start with Parked in Dutch Streets until, 2020. I probably started when the COVID crisis happened.
Yeah, I think I remember it being 2019, though.
Holy crap, you've been there since the beginning.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but I think we talked about all sorts of things, probably a bit of politics as well, not just cars.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we are now, the Carspotcast.
Yeah, because you live in Edinburgh. Do I say that correctly?
Yeah. Edinburgh, yeah.
I say it correctly, right? And you're half Dutch.
I am indeed. Yeah, dat ben ik.
Yeah. Good job.
We won't talk any more Dutch now.
No, I will not challenge you to do more Dutch, but you're currently also visiting your dad, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So my dad still lives in the Netherlands, so I come over 4 times a year.
Visiting him and his Suzuki Ignis.
Yeah, and then other car spotters that I now have friends with as well. So.
Yeah. How do you express your passion for cars? What is it that you mostly do?
Yeah, so the pictures that I post are mostly, it will just be something that I'll have walked past and seen. I mean, unlike you guys that all have a whole blog post kind of sorted, I'm not that clever. I'm not necessarily that knowledgeable about some things, but I'm like, that's something I haven't seen in ages. And some of it I've got something stupid to say about maybe.
Yeah.
Other things I'm just like, no, I'm going to post this picture today.
Hey, you're an official car spotter since you made that account.
Yeah.
We now welcome you to the car spotting community.
And it's somewhere to just share that geekery. My husband is less than enamored when we're on holiday and I see a Renault Espace that I've not seen in ages, and
He's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Same with mine. Like the boyfriend, he's always like, he just knows when we go out for a walk that I will spot cars at some point. He's just waiting like patiently, like, okay, shoot cars. He's not even interested, you know.
There's a joke that if there was an attractive guy walking past or a shit car, what would I be looking at?
Yeah.
And it is probably the shit car.
Yeah, probably for me too. Like, shit cars aren't everywhere. Attractive guys are everywhere.
What do you mean? I mean, all I've seen since I've been in Maastricht is hot guys everywhere.
Thank you. Welcome. I'm very happy to welcome you. I'm pretty much honored that you traveled to the Netherlands and then took a 2-hour train trip to Maastricht, periphery of the Netherlands. So I'm very happy that I can welcome you, and we'll have a good time, I guess.
Yeah, 2.5 hours actually.
Yeah,
and
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toewijding in Dutch? Commitment.
Yeah.
We're going to the first segment.
Cool.
You've been sort of teasing me with everything that you've talked about and everything that we've chosen. So the first segment is the car spotlight, and in this topic you can talk about any car that you want and basically highlight it. Car you walked into, car you spotted, car you had any interaction with. So take the wheel.
Yeah, so I had this planned well before. I was like, right, this is going to be my car spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Thursday, I arrived in the Netherlands and I was drinking with my dad and stepmom until very late. Mm-hmm. And we got talking about this car. And I was like, no, in my drunken state, this is going to be the car we're going to talk about. This is going to be it. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
The Volvo V40, the first edition.
Okay.
I knew you would do that.
Yeah, you know, that's not really my cup of tea. I grew up in the place where it was built, in Born.
Yeah.
And I literally grew up 3 kilometers from the factory sites. I should feel some sort of national prideness when thinking of this car, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know why. You should. It's wonderful. It's so cool.
What do you like about it?
So it has this kind of special place in my heart, I guess. So we were talking about this because my dad and stepmom had a Volvo V40 from 2002, I think it was. Mm-hmm. He recently departed. They replaced it with the Ignis.
I thought... recently departed. I thought you were talking about your dad. Like he recently departed. No. I was like, huh? Yeah. This is not the kind of visit I was imagining. But
my dad's a ghost.
Yeah.
We just chat.
Yeah.
This car is... we were just talking about all of the memories. I mean, it saved me so many times. The last time I was over in the Netherlands, my flight was cancelled. We were in Belgium. KLM booked me onto a new flight, but it meant I had to be at Schiphol for, I think, 6 a.m. So we got back from Belgium, drove back to Elst. My stepmom drove me down to Schiphol at 1 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. I spent the night at Schiphol Airport. Mm-hmm. Recommend it. 5-star review. It was snowing, and I knew by this point they'd ordered the Ignis, and this was the last time this car was going to rescue me. And I said goodbye to him. Last year we were in a wedding not far from here in Eupen. Because I drove from Scotland and it was our neighbour's wedding. Mm-hmm. I took because kilts are heavy. They're basically these big woolen dress.
No
Scottish
underwear skirts.
Like Scottish formal wear. So after the wedding, I took all the stuff that they gave me, and we went off to Antwerp, and they were also in Brussels, and there was lots of points where we were very close. And then after that, I went back to Elst to see my dad. And the night before they were flying back, I got a text message saying, "Are you still awake?" from my friend. "I think you have our passports." In the back of my car was their passports because it was in the jacket. I'd been drinking, so I couldn't drive. They were in Eupen, and we're near Nijmegen. So my stepmom, in the faithful Volvo, drove me to to the IKEA in Eindhoven.
To make the swap.
Yeah, to give them their passports. And it was all this Volvo that had done everything. I mean, it had done something like 390,000 kilometers. And the headlining was falling off. And
Of course it was.
Yeah. And
What
fuel
engine was it?
It was
2.0.
Yeah, 2 litre. Yeah, 2 litre.
Is that a Mitsubishi engine or what is it?
The Mitsubishi was the diesel, no?
Okay, I'm not sure. I think the whole car is a Charisma, so yeah.
No, come on. It's nicer than the Charisma.
No, it is nicer than the Charisma, I agree.
But yeah, so I was reading about this because I decided that I was going to talk about it, and the other car that I was talking about, and I'd done research, and I was like, forget that.
Yeah.
Hastily read about this Volvo because we were drunkenly talking about how fond we were of it, and it was designed for like the American market with the orange indicators on the side and stuff like that, and I was like, who's going to buy this? Like, which American is going to buy this compact estate car?
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was that popular in America.
I don't think so either. I have seen it in some movies though, the car. But
I want to know these movies.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch
I'll look it up. You have made me curious though. What was your other car sport like?
Oh, so you're bored of the Volvo already?
No, I just want to know. I just want to know. What did you leave?
What did I leave the Volvo for?
Yeah.
The Rover 400, the R8 version.
Okay, let's go back to the Volvo. No.
Yeah.
Well, the Rover 400 is a Honda, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But it was a big thing for Rover, right? I mean,
now I get it. You pick European cars that secretly are Japanese cars.
yeah, there's a thing I have.
That's a thing. Okay, yeah, that's a fetish.
I didn't only just realize that as well.
Japanese undercover Europeans. Yeah.
Closeted Japanese cars. Yeah.
Japanese cars. Yeah, that makes sense actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Volvo, the V40, I saw loads today. I was on the train and I was like, there's a V40, there's a V40.
They're still everywhere.
Yeah, right? They're still everywhere.
They're still
a car that's now 20-something years old and still a reliable workhorse.
The thing is, they have become sort of throw and go cars, like they're available for 500 euros and then it'll probably drive for 3 months and break down. So, and they have been in that condition for like 5 to 10 years already. So for some reason, these cars are being used very intensely and they do still operate. So there must be something good about them.
So I was reading last night because I was doing research and I wanted to read like the car reviews because I thought it'd be like, buy a BMW 3 Series Touring, buy an A4, buy the Volvo if you want to be a granddad.
Yeah.
And one of the things it was saying is like for the second-hand reviews was like the Volvos didn't change hands as much as the BMWs or the Audis. Like owners kept them for longer.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think
I do feel indeed like that is a typical Swedish car thing. People that buy Swedish cars, they tend to keep them for a long while. The Volvos and Saabs, there's still many Saabs in the Netherlands that are still with their first owners. I know like of a couple in a neighborhood close to here, they have the same convertible Saab that I have. First owner car, 2005. So it's ridiculous that people keep cars these long, but it's really nice.
I don't know, there's a connection, I think, with a Volvo maybe or a Saab that you don't necessarily get with...
It's a companion, it's not a car.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
This is a thing that we were talking about when my stepmom said goodbye to the Volvo. Not my dad. She did what I do, and you say goodbye to your car, right? You pat it on the dash, you say thank you. And she was a bit tearful, even when we were talking about it, she was a bit tearful about saying goodbye to this car. And we had a conversation last year when we did the whole trip to Eindhoven about how cars are companions. Yeah, like they're this thing in your life that will take you to a random IKEA at 1 o'clock in the morning or to Schiphol Airport when you need to. And my Golf was the same. But
I had the same, like with any car that I've owned, actually bought myself. If you leave the car, it's an emotional moment. Yeah. It's because you've made trips in a car, you've made memories in a car. The thing is, I had a Mini before I had my Ioniq, which was given to me by my job. I didn't choose it myself. And for some reason, I did have a lesser attachment to that car. I didn't feel anything towards that car because I didn't choose it. I didn't choose that car to make the memories in. But with all the other cars that I've owned, I've had this same experience. And I haven't owned them probably as long as your parents did the V40. How long have they owned the car?
We'll probably get onto this later where my geekery comes from, but my stepmom has a list of...
I saw that list already.
Cars she's ever owned. They bought the V40 in 2008.
Kept it for really long.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But this was also the first Volvo I ever drove.
And the thing is, I have to give it that. It is a very atypical Volvo, but it still has that Volvo feel. Mm-hmm. It still has that Volvo feel of solidness and like sort of ruggedness. It feels very steady, it's and that is the thing that every Volvo has. It's such a good job done by Volvo, and that's why I really want to drive the new EX30, because I want to find out if that car has that same Volvo feel. I don't think it has.
Yeah, so I've not driven it yet. I've sat in it. It does feel different, I think.
Because even my small Volvo, the V40 I had, the 2013 car, which is basically a dragged up Focus, that car, it felt like a Volvo. It
Starting to see your secret fetish here.
Dragged up Focuses.
Well, any dragged up Vectra, dragged up Focus.
So yeah, I mean, that was really, it felt, the seats, the steering wheel, the dashboard, it all just felt very Volvo to me, which is, and I had a lot of experience with V70s and stuff before that, and it felt the same. And that, I think that is so well done, and every Volvo has that sort of feeling.
Well, it's also a new generation of Volvo, fully electric, and
But I hope they won't lose themselves, because I think that is what people appreciate about Volvos. That part, that's
that quality to it. And the V40 was very comfortable. You could do such long journeys in it, and it was nice. I mean, less so with the headlining falling off and being quite tall, like touching the top of your head was not great. But
do you want to hear my Carsport lights?
Is it a Rover 400?
Nope. I have chosen a 1,500 kilograms, 47,000 euros, 3-door electric hatchback.
What is that? 3-door electric hatchback?
I have chosen the new Mini.
Oh.
Because I literally, before we went to record this podcast, I went with a colleague of mine, Julia. Hey, Julia, shout out. And she is looking for a new car. And she wants to buy a new Mini Cooper. And I really had to play into her, because she first wanted to get a petrol Mini. And I said, please do not, because that is a facelifted car that goes for its 5th facelift already. Get the electric one. That's the better one. And she drove with it today. And she said, yep, this is the car I need. But it's a 230 HP Mini. Wow. I think it's 1,500 kilograms or something like that. I also read the first test of it last week. And I think Autoweek, Dutch magazine, they had the big title, finally EV with fun factor, something like that. And it was fun. It drove really well. And it also, the interior was really nice.
Yeah, the interior is really cool. The cloth covering that they put on
it's
the dash,
really nice.
It feels modern.
The thing what they've done is, if you look at it for longer, you can see that some parts are really cheap. But the parts that people touch and the parts that draws their attention, those parts are exactly how they are supposed to be. So that is very well done by Mini. They did a really great job in that. The thing is, it costs 47,000 euros. She chose, like, what was it? So it was a luxurious one, I have to tell you that. But if you want an SE, which has a WLTP range of 400 kilometers, it starts at like 40,000 euros. It is ridiculous. And it's like, my Mini, the one I owned, which was a basic Cooper, was 27,000 euros. So it's ridiculous that they're getting this expensive, but they do drive.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's EVs. I mean, well, I also drive an EV now, and as do you, and it's definitely a nicer driving experience, I think. Well, it might be controversial, sorry.
No, I agree. Like, I've said this before, I wouldn't go back to a petrol car for daily use. Of course, I want petrol cars for fun and and laughing around and shitboxing, but for a daily car, no. Going
from the Golf to the Polestar 2, that is... The Golf, you're not going to agree with this, but the Golf was a lot of fun. I did like it. It was, I know, look at your face. I should have done a car spotlight on that. We talked about the Golf 7.5. It was a nice car. I did really enjoy it. It was comfortable and it was good fun to throw around the corner. But it also, it had a 1.4 petrol. It was the GTE, so 1.4 petrol engine with the battery. Which is
interesting motor engine choice. I do like that. It's a good choice. Yeah.
Going into an EV it's a bit more relaxed. The Polestar is, I think, 1,700 kilograms. Well, mine's rear wheel drive.
It's not that light. It's not that heavy. I mean,
no, I was a bit surprised. I thought it was higher. Yeah. But it's quite tall. So as you throw it into a corner, it's not the same. That surprised me. Like one day driving the Golf, the next day into that.
The interesting thing is, in the beginning, the Polestars, and then we're going to continue to the next segment because we're going everywhere. This is already basically the next segment, but already. In the beginning, it was front wheel drive.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's rear-wheel drive.
Which is the wonderful thing about...
You can drift it. That's lovely.
I mean, I haven't tried drifting it yet.
Oh, I can teach you. That's fun.
I look forward to that. Yeah.
It's fun.
Joep's drifting school.
I do it with my Ioniq too. It's lovely. It's really a lot of fun. Yeah, it's and that's the thing. Like, it's so funny that for the longest time we thought that front wheel drive was the way to get it if you want an economical and efficient and blah 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 car, and now it's turning around again. Like for electric cars, rear wheel drive seems to be the best option.
It is nice. It does feel you get that push into the corner.
Yeah.
I won't say what I was going to say, but I used to have a BMW and that did the same.
No, I mean the Mini was really a nice car, and it was even front wheel drive, so it was different. But so nippy, so quick, nice interiors, a pretty car too. Like it works. If you ask me.
I saw one, the new Countryman I saw at Schiphol Airport. Yeah, but I quite liked it.
My God.
I didn't think I did.
I should call it Maxi.
Well, yeah.
It's huge.
It is huge. It is. But there's a design language I quite like.
It's minimalistic.
Which makes me feel a little bit dirty because I don't really like minis that much. But there was I kind of liked it, and I love the interior. I love what they've done.
I loved how you said this. Makes you feel dirty.
It does.
Okay, good. We're gonna continue to the cars for your life, Will. I think we already had a nice look into that, but in this topic, I want the people that are listening to basically meet the cars of your life and meet the cars that have played a vital part of your life. And I'm always starting with. In the beginning, it was called parents' car, but doesn't really work. I recall it your childhood's car. What was the car that basically sparked that love for cars for you?
So it wasn't really our car.
Okay.
So my dad used to work.
See, it's good that I changed this.
Yeah. But my dad used to work away. So when we grew up, we had a Ford Escort Mark IV, a 3-door blue. You would have loved it.
Yeah, I think I would have.
It was a popular, no, it wasn't even a plus. It was just a popular 1.3.
Yeah, with nice 90 batches and stuff.
Yeah.
Stickers.
Yeah. Go faster stripes down the side.
Oh, I love it. 60 HP.
Probably. Yeah. And the steel wheels, not with the
1.3 engine.
Yeah, with the small black hubcaps on.
Oh, I love it,
so this was our car for such a long time.
Yeah.
And my dad used to work away. He used to work in aviation, so he would go and deliver training courses across the UK. So when he would do that, they would give him a rental car because we couldn't go anywhere in our Ford Escort. It was all sorts of shit. We had a Vauxhall Carlton or an Opel Carlton, Opel Omega.
Oh, Opel Omega, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that was one of the fancy. I mean, that broke down.
Fancy, of course.
That broke down.
It's not a car for like everyone.
No, we did quite like it.
Yeah.
But that broke down.
Okay.
That was terrible. We had a Montego.
Austin.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Classy.
Yeah.
But this was the days of company cars. And then they moved to rental cars. Mm-hmm. Rent a car from a rental company. We went on a Sunday to pick this car up, and it was the Volvo 850.
Oh, of course. You're a Volvo geek.
Yeah.
You love Volvos.
And this is the car that started all that, my car geekery, but also my Volvo.
Which I completely get.
And it was a green 850 Estate. It had a beige interior.
The dark green.
Yeah.
So good.
And I remember it was a 95 or 96, I think. Mm-hmm. So slightly softer.
With facelift.
Yeah. Going from that Mark IV Escort into this, I was like,
of course.
This is like a different world.
You went from a C segment, everyone's car, to like premium D segment, which is a leap.
But I'd never experienced this before. This was like an utter different world. So what we would normally do is we'd all go down as a family to my dad's office, was about an hour away. Then my mum would drive the Escort back. Yeah. And then me and my brother would take it in turns to one drive back with my dad. And it was my turn to drive back with my dad in this Volvo 850.
Yeah.
So I'm sat there in this world of wonderment at this like massive car that's so quiet and so smooth. And I can just feel getting very warm.
Please tell me it's the seat heating.
I was like, 10 maybe? I'd never been in a car with heated seats before. And my dad knew this. Yeah. So he thought this was a great joke. And I was like, this car's on fire.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't... This car's on fire. What? So I look at my dad and go, Dad, my seat's getting very hot. And he looks at me and starts laughing, and then points out, "Oh yeah, in the center, of course, these buttons. As a 10-year-old, you have no clue. It's heated seats."
Oh wow, those are the things that you never forget. And those are the things that make you admire a brand.
And then we did some, we went up to my grandma's. She lived near where my dad was working at the time, and then he drove us up and then drove us back. And this was the first time we'd done this long distance journey in the back of this Volvo with its little reading light and then a center armrest. That was wonderful. And that started it for me. That was this unremarkable car. I was obsessed with Volvos ever since.
What was your first car?
It was a Ford Fiesta.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. That is so good.
It was a 1990, so Mark.
That is lovely with the sort of triangular vibey about it.
Yeah.
I love
the
that.
little teardrop shapes.
So good.
It was sky blue.
I went to Cologne a few weeks ago. I spotted a mint one over there.
That's more metallic, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was.
But it was like a
so lovely.
Yeah, that's a fancy.
So cute. Yeah, such a cute car, and they drive so well. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, what are we comparing it to?
I have two best friends. I've known them since I was 11, and I was hanging out with them. They're not as much car geek as I am, but they do like cars. A while ago, one of them, Nick, shout out Nick, they wanted me to call them my best friends because I once referred to my other best friend, Sander, and I called him a friend, and he got mad at me. So Sander and Nick, best friends. And Nick, he at one point, he inherited a Ford Fiesta of that generation from his grandma. It was rusted. We knew it wouldn't pass the APK MOT, but it had 2 or 3 months left. So within those 2 or 3 months, we had the most ridiculous amount of fun with that car. It shitboxed us everywhere. It was perfect. And it drove so well because the technique, the technology, it was still very fresh and it felt very good. It was just rusted. So yeah, I have a very nice memory of that car.
Mine was a classic first car shitbox thing.
Okay.
So it was 1990. Had the 1.1 engine.
I drove one with the 1.3, I think.
Yeah. Which maybe that's where you think it drives. And
it was a special edition. I have to look up the name of that car, but sorry.
And mine was a Popular Plus.
Yeah.
So there's a theme of Fords there. But it was old, right? So it didn't have electronic engine management.
Anything.
I had a choke. I had.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. My first car. Everyone else had Vauxhall Corsas or Opel Corsas, which had computer management. They didn't need to have a manual choke and stuff like that. So they were like, what is this thing you have in your car?
Yeah.
It had 3 keys just to operate it.
How does that work?
Someone tried to break into it, not very successfully, but damaged the driver's door lock. Okay. So I had a key for the driver's door.
Yeah.
At some point, the ignition barrel had been replaced. So I had a key for the ignition barrel.
Yeah.
And then I had a key for everything else. Which was predominantly the boot and the fuel filler cap. So you had 3 keys. And then everyone kept telling me, you shouldn't take all your keys with you. You should keep some spares safe. I was like, no. This is a collection of keys to make the car work. This is all required. 3 keys I needed.
Harry Potter, secret chamber of secret chamber of Fiesta. Yeah.
If I ever lost my keys, no one was stealing that car because they wouldn't know what to do.
What the hell? Yeah.
But I like the driver's door barrel one. That's the only one I knew because that was the newest key and that was the sharpest.
Yeah.
So I had that. I struggle to remember how long I had that for. Not long, maybe 18 months.
Great choice. I like it. My first car was also a Fiesta. I owned it for 2 months. Then it got stolen.
What, you had a Mark 5 or 6?
7. 7.5. So the facelift. 2015.
Oh, that's very new.
I loved it. I bought it in 2018. It was a diesel because I was driving from Maastricht to Eindhoven, which was a lot of kilometers. I loved the car and it got stolen after 2 months. And then I bought a Volvo.
Good move.
Yeah. Your current car, the Polestar.
Yeah.
It's fresh. It's very fresh with you.
It was 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, what are your first experience being a very new EV owner?
It's really good. It's so comfortable. It's just a different driving experience.
Yeah.
Did get the charging cable stuck in a charging post. Some teething problems. It's all good. But other than that, it's just so easy. I've done a couple of long journeys already.
Yeah.
Before I came to the Netherlands, the day before I flew out, we were down at a concert, 2.5 hours from Edinburgh down in England somewhere, and very usable. We stopped, plugged it into a rapid charger. I had a coffee. We came back. We carried on.
So good.
Went to the concert and then just drove all the way back. And it's now sitting at home with 20%, 24% of the battery left in it.
It's also like, I mean, it's a big, luxurious car.
Yeah.
So for European standards, it's a big car.
Yeah. It is big. I mean, it is basically a Volvo
S60.
XC40 or...
Oh, yeah, true. But they're on the same platform, I think.
Yeah, it's exactly the same platform.
Yeah, so yeah. It's one of the very few designs that is a sort of crossover that I do like. Because it's a sort of SUV-ish crossover sedan thingy.
Yeah.
Or is the liftback? It
is a liftback, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course. I drive a sedan. I love liftbacks more than sedans.
But it does feel quite tall for a for a liftback or a hatchback, or it does feel quite big. Which I would like it to feel more Volvo in a bit. Well, it's not. It's air quotes, not a Volvo.
Yeah,
but it is a Volvo.
It is a Volvo. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
everything. Even there's Volvo badges inside. Like you open up the bonnet and you'll see Volvo badges on things.
You also had some fun with the brakes of the car, I think.
Yeah, that was fun. So I drove it for quite a while. They delivered the car on a Thursday. On the Friday, I drove down to my parents, which is my mum, which is about 170 miles. So what? 200 and something kilometers. Drove back. And then a week later, I was talking to a neighbor and we were looking at the car, and I was looking at it from another side and realized that they'd left the plastic pre-delivery cover over the rear passenger wheel.
That is so bad.
It's terrible.
How do they do that?
Well,
that is also dangerous.
It's so dangerous. If it had been a normal ice car, but if it had been an ice car, with an engine, that would have set fire because But because it's an EV, and I have one pedal drive, obviously, and you just generate electricity. I was rarely using the brakes. So I was just like, this is ridiculous. So I didn't use it. I had to take it to Volvo because it's not a Volvo. You have to take it to Volvo to get serviced. And they had it for maybe 5 minutes.
And they were like, oh yeah, we forgot.
Well, yeah, it was a different dealership.
Okay.
But yeah, they were like, bring it in. We'll take it off for you.
Jesus Christ, that is not good. Yeah.
That wasn't great.
Your future car. What would you ever own? And you can be realistic here, but you can also dream away. What is a car that you are going to own in the future?
Can I say a Volvo 850? Because I'd really love a Volvo 850.
I mean...
But it'll probably be something EV now. I think that's where I'm...
You would never get like a fun car, just a plus one.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. We have talked about this as well because I have been looking at a Volvo C30.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so maybe that.
Joep Focus. Ta-da.
Yeah. Well, of course. It's not a Japanese car in drag though. I always, when it was launched as well, I always thought it was really beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good looking car.
Kind of harped back to the 480 with that glass lift
and the 3-door, a dedicated 3-door. That never happens anymore.
No,
except for the Mini.
Yeah, which is a real shame. And I think the same with things like the coupes, like the Megane coupe, and we don't do those anymore. And why? They were great. They were fun. They, like even Volkswagen stopped making the 3-door Golf, and I kind of think there's a place for 3-door cars still.
Sales figures say differently, I think.
But people are wrong. 3-doors are great.
Yeah. Make those unprofitable, not wealth-generating 3-door cars, please.
Renault, over to you.
Yeah, over to you. Give us some stupid shit again instead of the 15 crossovers that you are producing right now.
Yeah, and one's called the Australia. Australia? Like,
let's come with a new one. I forgot the name again. It's like slightly bigger than a Captur.
And the Arcana? What the fuck
that is like a Captur with a declining roof.
Awful.
Yeah. Renault, please get your shit together. Start making 3-wheel Lagunas again. Yeah.
A 3-door Laguna, I would be there.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they did a 3-door Laguna. Laguna 3. Yeah, the coupe.
That was good.
That was nice.
I like that.
I did like it.
We're going to car conversation. So in the car conversation, in this segment, I ask you as many car questions as possible, and you must give your answers as fast as possible. And when the 30 seconds are over, we can, of course, discuss whatever you've answered.
I'm ready.
You told me that you came prepared. You have thought about this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready?
Go for it.
3, 2, 1. What's the worst car you ever owned?
My Renault Laguna.
What's a car brand you would never own?
Ooh.
Again.
Never owned it. Vauxhall.
Country that makes the best cars.
Sweden.
What's a bucket list car for you to spot?
Ooh. A Renault Wind.
What's the perfect road trip song?
Ooh. Something by Stromae.
What's an underrated car?
Fuck. Underrated? I don't know.
An underrated car.
Underrated. I could probably have a good answer. The Renault Laguna.
Good. So to get back to your first question, what's the worst car you ever owned? The Renault Laguna. Because please, tell us what the hell happened to that Lala Laguna of yours.
Oh, my Lala Laguna.
Wait, no, I want to get back to, why did you actually buy it? How did you get to that point?
That's a good question. How did I get to that point? It's really, but what's bad is the car before it was a Mitsubishi Colt.
Oh, so you thought, this is too safe. Let's do something else.
This thing just works.
Yeah.
Nothing went wrong with that car. It was...
I need excitement, you thought.
But I'd finished studies. I was about to start a new job and I was going to do very long distances for work. And I thought...
What year was it?
2008? Oh, the Laguna?
No.
Oh, the year I did this, 2008.
So you knew by 2008 that wasn't a good car.
Well, my uncle had a Laguna and his was fine.
Okay.
So I thought, yeah, sure. I don't think I was even aware of how terrible it was until after I bought it. So I went looking. Obviously, I wanted a Volvo, and that I couldn't afford a Volvo. So
let's get a Laguna.
I went to this car dealership, and there was.
I love how everything that you're saying is not pointing towards the Laguna right now. So everything is pointing you to a different direction, but you were like, Laguna. But continue. Sorry.
So there was lots of things I was looking at, and there were choices, right? I could have got a Ford Focus. I probably could have bought a Mondeo.
Oh.
Yeah, I probably could have done. And there was this Renault, and I loved it. I was like, yes. I test drove it, and it was so comfortable, and it was different, and...
It's pretty, too.
Yeah, it's pretty. And
because you got a sedan or a hatchback?
It's a hatchback.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think they made it in a sedan, no? They did the Estate.
Listen, I'm not this prophet on Lagunas. You have to go to Maurice for that. So.
You should be. You will be by the end of this. It's fine.
Yeah.
So I loved it. I was so comfortable, and it was so space age. You had a key card. You had a push button to start it.
Was there a turning point? Was there a point where you realized, oof, I maybe should not have done this?
So it was eccentric. It was an eccentric car. So one of the key cards didn't work properly. So that was fine. I had another one.
Yeah. Which
I was taking something out of my pocket and threw that in the air and it chipped on the ground. So the properly working key card was now a broken key card. The Renault was fine. It would still take the thing. So that was all good. But I did refer to it as the magic healing Renault, because it would stop working with things. Like the electric windows one day just didn't work and then suddenly did. And it would just fix itself. And it didn't start because my friend was fixing his car in the university car park, and I'd put the headlights on. You draining the battery, obviously, then realised draining the battery, tried to start it, wouldn't. Turned it all off, locked it, opened it again, and it started fine. So then I took it for a drive. So it kind of healed itself. But there was this knocking noise. And I was like, this needs to go back to the garage. So I phoned them and they're like, yeah, okay, bring it in. Probably nothing. Well, it was something. So the day before I was due to drive it back to the garage, I went over a speed bump very slowly. Everyone was like, how fast were you going? Slowly. If I'd gone any faster, the pictures you would have seen what it would have done. The knocking noise was a bolt that was holding the subframe to the chassis, fell out. So you're driving along and the car comes to this shuddering halt, obviously, because the back wheels have detached from the car. So I'm stranded on this zebra crossing in a car park with a car that now has the wheels detached from the back of the car.
The turning point must have been before this, Will.
This was the turning point. But everything seemed to go wrong after this point. And before it, everything seemed to work. But when the wheels fell off, that was literally when the wheels fell off. So the first recovery truck came and wanted to, because it's a front-wheel drive car, wanted to take it from the front and drag it. And I looked at this guy and I was like, you can't do that. He was like, well, no, it'll be fine. I was like, no, the wheels are literally off of this. Like, you can't drag it. You'll have to take it from behind. You'll have to... And So he tried.
I love this.
He tried. He actually tried.
Yeah.
And made it a bit worse. And then was like, yeah, I can't do it. I'm going to have to phone my pal, the other guy. So he came. They took the car away. And then I heard nothing. And then I didn't know where my car was actually.
It wasn't magically healing, it was magically disappearing.
It was magically disappearing. Then they found it, and I phoned the dealership the next day, very like, my wheels have fallen off. They fixed it. I mean, I should have done so much more. I should have demanded a new car, but I didn't. They gave me a free tank of petrol, it was a big fuel tank, that thing. It was like almost £100 worth of fuel in it. It's like, okay.
Okay, fine.
So I got it back, and they'd fixed it. And I was like, brilliant. I have my Laguna back. I can go back to driving in comfort. Then the winter kind of set in, and I just started realizing more and more things didn't work. Like if it was cold, it was a diesel. It was 1.9 DCI, terrible engine, so unreliable. If it was cold, I didn't want to start. So you just wouldn't, because it was diesel. I was like, nope. But if it was hot, the electrics didn't want to work. So depending on the weather, depending on what wouldn't work, you would get the engine to start. But then if it was too warm, the electrics wouldn't work. So you'd put the key card in and everything would like light up. And then everything would go dark. And you would just play this dance with taking the key card out, putting it in and waiting long enough until just to hit the button to get the engine to start. I pulled out on, there was a dual carriage where I lived. And so 2-lane fast road. Traffic would go about 60 miles an hour, so 100 kilometers. A normal day, pulled out, there was a truck miles away, went to put my foot on the accelerator, and the turbo had disappeared. Yeah, no turbo in a diesel, that's very painful. And this truck was a very long way away. It kept getting closer and closer and closer. And then, so I was going somewhere with work and managed to drive it with this limping turbo that then suddenly came back to life, and then the next day was absolutely fine. It's like, okay, it's fixed itself again, we're all good. So that then got looked at and sorted out, because I think there was a split in the house. This car cost me so much money. One morning I got up really early for work, because I was working down in London. I was living in up near Manchester. So I got up early and it said you have a flat tyre. And I was like, I don't have a flat tyre. But I had a tyre pressure gauge, like a proper manual one. I was like, this will tell me the answer. Yeah. So I think it was something like 4 a.m. outside, checking all the tyre pressures, like we're all good. Driving it, and it just says stop, serve. It has all these lights flashing at you. Like you try and change lane, you've got another light flashing at you. It was just a Christmas tree on wheels, this thing. Like,
and still you talk about it lovingly.
Yeah, because I loved it. It was it's great. It was great.
It's the funniest thing to me. You just told what a nightmare the car is, and you still love it.
It was such a great design. It was so like space age. It was so like different, right? There was nothing like it. It was huge as well. The boot was massive. Yeah, it was just a handsome car. It was such a.
We need to get Plankhond to get one. He needs to get one.
He knows too much about my experience.
Yeah, he knows too much, but he's still he bought an Aventime. Aventime. Oh wow, what did I do there? No, but
Renault have got to you finally.
yeah, shit. Renault have got to me. No, he should get one.
I'd be so jealous.
Man, I wouldn't be jealous of those.
I mean, I wouldn't do a DCI. I would steer clear of that. I mean, again, I should have known. My stepdad had a Renault Megane Scenic, but the facelifted version, so with the square lights,
where the rear lights are not black.
Yeah. It was top of the range. Oh, it was so good. Dual sunroof, but that had the same 1.9 DCI. That also, I mean, it
sucked.
You say, but it broke down quite frequently. I mean, that car, the seat broke from the mounting.
Yeah.
And Renault had to get someone from France, an engineer from France, to come over to make an engineering fix for this seat that had broken. And yet I still went and bought a Renault after knowing this as well, with the engine that was not very reliable.
My granddad had one of those too, and he also had the open roof, the sunroof, but it was leaking. So at one point, he would just have puddles of water in his Scenic. At one point, we just called the Aqua Scenic, like because it just always had puddles of water in there. So it was, Yeah, bad car.
They were so practical. We drove to France. It arrived the day before we were going to France, and it was revolutionary.
Yeah, of course it was a revolution for the car industry. It sparked the whole MPV thing.
Yeah.
Okay, the Laguna. Wow. We find good to know that's finally out there.
Yeah,
you finally had a platform to share your story.
Yeah. Well, and my car account has mentioned it many a times, and Morris keeps mentioning it.
Car brand that you would never own, Vauxhall.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Oh, it's so boring. I haven't driven a good one either.
Okay.
So there was a period when I was getting rental.
Spoiler alert! I will get back to this.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I know you have a big Vectra fetish, but yeah, the Astra, the square one, the one.
Yeah, it was the H, the Astra H, available from 2004 onwards.
Yeah.
I love that one. It's a good design.
Inside, it is so bland.
Yeah.
Outside,
it's
beautiful.
a very good design outside.
Engines that were so lackluster.
Opel engines are the worst.
It was just. It had the indicators that they just returned. So,
yeah.
And it drove me up the wall, and everything about it. And the gearbox was horrible. Nothing was nice about them. And in fairness, I have driven newer Astras, and I do like them. But in my mind, it's not
boring. It's just boring.
It's just not good. And Ford is better.
Oh! You tried to lure me into the conversation here.
No, Ford. No, I of the two, I am a Ford man.
Oh yeah, of course.
I drove work. I had a Mondeo on my work placement. Loved that.
Yeah, Mondeo was such a good car.
It was great.
What generation?
The second generation.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite, the New Edge Mondeo.
Yeah.
Love that one.
But
that's probably the best car Ford ever built. I think I already said this 4 times in this podcast.
Yeah,
but it's the best car Ford ever built.
But it was so good. It was really well built as well, and it was very comfortable.
Yeah,
the TDCi engine.
Good
in it,
engines.
Really
well. Diesel engines were good. The petrol engines.
Yeah, I enjoyed the diesel, but it pulled well. The gearbox was nice. The steering was good.
Yeah,
if you couldn't afford a BMW, this was.
It was spacey. It was good. Yeah. I like it too. Country that makes the best cars, Sweden.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, we don't need to talk about that. Bucket list car to spot. You said the Renault Wind.
Yeah, only because it's been on my mind a lot lately. Because I saw one the other day, but I've never been able to catch it. And there's quite a few in Edinburgh. There's 4 I think I've seen.
Yeah.
And I really want to see it again. I want to get some pictures of it.
The fun thing is that in Dutch, a little fart could be called a windje.
Yeah.
Wind. So that's why the car probably never really worked in the Netherlands.
Well, it's the same in English. Huh?
Oh, so it's really?
Well, wind, is.
So it's called
if you have wind,
the Renault fart.
It's basically the Renault fart. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
But
honestly,
we went from that. We went from the terribly named Renault Wind to Curlius and Australia, and but where's the fun little that was fun. It was the Puma and the Tigra and
those cars that's a segment that is gone.
Yeah, and
it's all gone. The cheapest sports car available now is an MX-5, and that still costs 45,000 euros. So it's ridiculous. Yeah,
I wanted to bring it back. Where's fun? Where are fun cars gone?
Taxes have ruined it, I think.
Maybe, but you can get. It doesn't have to have a massive engine. It doesn't have to be heavy.
No, I agree. Yeah. Perfect road trip song. You said
something by Stromae. Yeah, it's only because I was listening to that today again.
Oh, I thought you were going to answer Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, mate.
I want to share mine too.
Yeah, go on.
There's one. There's not many movies that can bring me to tears, but there's one that can bring me to tears. You're gonna laugh so loud. It's Cars. I love Cars. It's still so emotional to me.
Oh, what bit do you cry?
At the part where they leave, and there's all misunderstanding about Lightning McQueen being a dickhead, but he isn't because he's in love with Sally. It's so good. Come on. And even the Cars 2 sucks. Cars 3 is great again. It's lovely. I love Cars. It's such a good, because Cars 3 is sort of like, it came out like 15 years later or something like that. And I was like a full grown 20 something year old. And I went into the cinema to see Cars 3 together with my best friend, Nick, to see it. And we were just sat there between all these 6 and 7 year olds.
Did you cry at Cars 3 as well?
No, I don't think I cried at Cars 3. But I did cry at one point at the first Cars.
You're starting to tear up a bit now. This is a bit like...
I love Cars. And the song is Life is a Highway by the Rascal Flatts. I love that song so much. And I think that is the perfect road trip song.
It is good when you have a good song, though. Like, it makes you turn the...
Yeah, it's Life is a Highway. I love it. It's so good. What's from my song?
Oh, Tafet, because I've been listening to that so much.
Tafet is so good. I love it.
It's just such a... I mean, I kind of forget how old it is. Yeah.
I've seen him live. Oh, I think that was already in 2014, but he was really good.
It's just such a kind of like...
Yeah,
a good tune when you drive. Like,
yes.
I've had it on quite a bit, and it's like you almost want to put the windows down and like everybody must listen to my choice of song because it is that excellent.
Underrated car. You said Laguna again, but I don't think it's underrated. It's rated exactly how it should be rated.
Yeah, maybe. I was struggling to think of an underrated car, because maybe the Golf. Is the Golf underrated? I think
the Golf is not underrated. That's the most appreciated car in the world.
No, that's true. No, but everyone hates it, and they shouldn't hate it because it is a very good car.
Not everyone hates it. Everyone who doesn't like cars loves the Golf, and there's also a lot of people who love cars that love the Golf.
Yeah. Okay. Fair point.
Yeah. Sorry. Nope. I'm not going with you on this one.
I don't know. Underrated. I think maybe something like something small, something like utility. I do like a bit of utilitarian cars for the masses. I quite like
Ford car.
Yeah. Something like that, or the Kia Picanto, or something that's just
that is
cheap.
Underrated. I agree. E10. Those are really good cars.
Yeah. So
we actually bought a E10 for my sister, and we called it E10 in Dutch. We call it Tini.
Teeny, that's cute.
That's cute. Teeny E10.
Yeah, but this like the Suzuki Ignis as well that my dad and stepmom have just bought, and it's really cool. It's like really clever, and I like that where you've got something that has a constraint in that you have to build to it, so it can't be an expensive car, and it's going to be a small car.
Yeah.
It's quite cleverly packaged, and I like that about that kind of segment where you can't just throw lots of money at a problem. You've got to really think about it.
Yeah.
My mum had a Hyundai i10. And I loved it as well. She actually really liked that car. She had a Fiat 500 before it. And the i10, I think, was her favorite.
That is a car that is maybe a bit overrated, the 500.
It doesn't do it for me.
No. I mean, I like it, to be honest, but it is a bit overrated because it's not actually that good of a car, but still everyone likes it because it just looks cute and tiny.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that whole, but same with the Mini and the whole like revolution of, because those
retro
were
design,
cheap utilitarian cars for the masses.
And now they're retro premiumed up.
Yeah, and I don't...
things for girls that are 20 and want the first car.
And it's not as... but it's just not the same. It's not the same that you've taken the design, but you don't have the essence. And I think the cat,
perfect.
The cat was the modern Mini, right? That took the mantle over.
Yeah.
Because it was a cheap, cute, utilitarian car for the masses.
To talk about exactly the opposite, we're going to the next segment. And in that segment is the car search, in which you get an objective and a budget for a search, and you have to come up with a top 3 of cars that you'll fulfill the objective with. And your objective was a long-distance Euro trip cruiser for €8,000, or in your across the pond valuta currency, £6,900, which is a very specific amount. What do you think of this when you get an objective like this? What is the kind of car that you think of? What does it have to be?
So for me, you want something big, comfortable. You're going to spend a long time in it, right? You're going to do a long journey. So you want to get out the other end and be relaxed.
I'm happy that we 100% agree on this.
Good.
Because I also looked for big luxury cars.
Excellent.
Yeah, got it right.
Can't wait to see the Vectron Fiat Chroma.
Bring your number 3.
My number 3. So my honourable mention. So I played this game at university, not with a price limit. Mm-hmm. Bearing in mind that I graduated in 2008. That was long enough ago now where you would probably find that car for £6,900. And my pal Andy, he was adamant you would do that in a Range Rover Sport. And I said a Jaguar XJ. Oh, an XJR specifically, but I couldn't find an XJR for £6,900.
No.
So there are a few in there, but also a Volvo XC90. It's perfect.
Yeah. Agreed.
Or an S80. But none of those are in my top 3.
Okay. Bring your number 3.
Right. This is the only sensible one on the list. It all goes a bit mad after this.
I'm going the exact opposite. I'm going from mad to sensible because I want to give some proper consumer advice today.
Okay.
I'm in the mood to give serious consumer advice.
So are you ready for number 3?
A Lexus. This is very smart in LS.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
because
exactly.
these things, they don't break down. You literally get an S-Class or a 7 Series with the reliability of a Toyota Yaris, which is perfect.
I mean, this one is also LPG, so...
Okay, that is where it get minus points for me, because that would make it more expensive in taxes and stuff. But this is a very, very, very great car. I love this.
Yeah, with grey leather interior.
Oh, yes, and the wood steering wheel. Yeah. The thing is about these things, these interiors of these cars are very hit and miss. There's parts that are very cheap, and there's parts of the car that are very expensive, and it's just a mix mash of that. You will also find buttons that your grandma in her Yaris has too, but I love it. It's so good. So, it is, yeah. The outside is a bit boring, but the interior definitely makes up for it.
Yeah, but you're going to spend so long just sitting in that, driving for hours. It's going to be so comfortable.
What engine does it have? 8-cylinder.
This is the 4.3.
Yeah, that's 8-cylinder. Yeah.
Yeah, V8. Yeah, 6-speed auto. I mean,
that's a reliable car.
It's like it's the perfect car, really, isn't it?
It's very good. Actually, it's a good car.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I was quite proud of that. But I was like, I can't end on a Lexus LS because that's sensible.
And you're going bonkers after this, you told me.
We go on a little tour. Yeah.
Okay, good. You want to know my honorable mentions?
Yeah.
I started with a Mercedes-Benz W140.
Okay.
The Cathedral. But I thought that's too old. Cannot do that. Then I thought of a Mercedes-Benz R-Class.
Okay.
Which is also nice, but also maybe a little bit too cheap, a little bit too American. And if I'm traveling on my own, I don't need all that space. I don't. I thought of a Skoda Superb, which is nice. Like
that's
the combi, with the very big boots. I love that.
No, I like that.
To be completely bonkers, I looked at a Passat W8, which is quite lovely, I would say. I looked at a car that is my childhood hero. And you will love this.
Ford Mondeo.
Volvo 960.
Yes.
But I did not choose it.
Why not?
I looked at the Saab 9.5 Estate. Love that too. I looked at the 2003 Renault Espace. Love that too. And then I started to get a little bit more serious with my cars.
So all I know at this point is that, because we had a bit of chat about this before.
Yeah.
And I thought you'd picked a Lexus LS as well. And you said it was because you asked me what it was, and I said, well, I've picked a big Luxo barge. And you said you went with something D-segment.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm getting worried.
That's my number 1. So you have to wait for that. My number 3 is slightly bonkers, and also because I think the ad is too good to be true. It's a Volkswagen Phaeton.
No.
Yeah, it's a Volkswagen Phaeton with 140,000 kilometers driven, and it's available for only 7,000 euros. This car looks too good to be true, and you know it's too good to be true because everything on that car will break down, and it will cost you a shitload of money.
Oh, but it's beautiful.
I love the Phaeton. It is so good. And recently, there's a guy in Maastricht who just recently imported a 3.0 TDI, which is perfect. I love the Phaeton. It's such a good car. And you will drive around, and people will just think that you bought a Passat, which is perfect.
I mean, it's so understated.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm afraid to actually. I was afraid to buy a crazier engine because this is the 3.2 V6, which is just a VR6 that was also in a lot of other Volkswagen things. This is available in the craziest engines. You have V8s, you have V10 TDIs, you have a W12, you have all the crazy shit. And I thought, nope, this one looks good. It looks in a good state. I'm going for the V6 for 7,000 euros.
That's a good choice. That is a good choice.
The thing is, it has been for sale for already quite a bit, and it started at 9,000. So there probably must be something wrong with it.
Yeah. My now my Lexus is not looking so bad, is it?
No, it isn't. No.
As I passed you, as you're broken down on the side of the road.
Yeah, probably that will be the case because this thing will break down and your LS will not. So I think you won this round. Yeah.
This is number 3.
Yeah, but you're going bonkers, and I'm getting slightly more sensible. So bring it.
Are you ready for number 2?
Number 2.
I saw this and I was like, yeah, this has to come in. I can't not. Are you ready for this?
Yeah. No, Will, you can't do that. A Rolls-Royce Silver Spirit. You cannot do that.
Why not? £6,750. It's under budget.
It will cost it costs more in pounds than the amount of kilometers that you will drive with that car, because it will break down at every step you take.
I mean, I read the description. So there's some things that don't work. The electric windows don't work, and that's about everything else is fine. The electric
windows
does
have the 6.75 V12.
Yeah, no, it says V8.
Oh, okay. Well,
yes, you'll have to carry a petrol station behind you, right? And it does say that it'll only take the expensive petrol, so you can't just put that
only
E10
the
stuff in.
98s stuff. Yeah.
But I mean, look at it. You're going to drive to petrol station. It's going to take you a very long time, but just look at that.
Oh my God. Like, I have to admit, I looked at them too. I looked at it too, but I thought it was too bonkers. You cannot get a nice and good Rolls Royce for €7,000. You can't even get a nice and good Rolls Royce for €70,000. So I wasn't that keen on them. Yeah, it will be the best leather you ever cried on. That's the best. That's the good thing.
You can't open the windows when you go to a toll booth, and you'll have to open the door, and you'll probably damage it.
Yeah.
But you'll be in a Rolls Royce. Yeah. I mean, you'll feel like the most special person driving down the French motorway.
You will look like you have money.
I mean, the irony being you won't have money.
Yeah, that's the thing. I do like this. I would never ever get it though.
I mean, either.
I do like that you've gone bonkers. This is insane.
It's a Rolls Royce for like less than £7,000.
Yeah.
Like, what better way to like, could you imagine driving through the Alps in that? Yeah. Or you go to Monte Carlo and you're like, it'll fit in.
Look at me, I have money. No, you don't.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I told you I'm getting more sensible, which is not typical for me, but I'm getting more sensible with this. May I ask you, what's the most popular BMW 5 Series ever made?
The M5.
No.
The Bangle one.
I want this. God damn it, you ruined this for me. I wanted you to answer the E39, which is like the late 90s, early zeros one.
Okay, yeah.
The one that...
Sorry, do you want to do this again?
Yeah.
The E39.
Thank you very much. And after that, there was a time in the beginning of the zeros where this man named Jim Bangle, what was it? What was his name? Bangle.
Bangle. Yeah, I don't know his first name.
He
Bangle.
entered BMW and he started making ridiculous cars. He started designing 7 Series with weird boot lids.
Yeah.
And he just started making ridiculous cars. He made BMWs quirky, and I love him. I love him for that.
I like the Bangle generation.
And the thing is that Bangle generation is the most underrated BMW 5 Series ever made. There's this Bangle series is at one point where it is not yet appreciated in a way that the earlier ones are, but the car after that generation is getting appreciated. The only Bangle 5 Series that is appreciated is the V10 M5 crazy shit, crazy thing. I chose a Bangle one.
Oh, I like it.
It's silver. It's a 525e with a 6-cylinder engine.
Oh, this is very sensible.
And it has driven, what was it? Not even 1.5 tons. It is perfect.
Yeah.
It is such a good car. You will get a lot of electronical issues and probably a lot of things exploding in the engine bay too, but I love it. Yeah. I love the design of this car. It is so tacky that it becomes stylish again.
No, I've always loved the when I did my work placement,
like swerves and stuff. You know it looks quirky. I like it.
I did my work placement in 2004. This was the bit when I worked at Longbridge, and my manager, he had a company car and he picked a Peugeot 607.
Yeah.
Everyone else had a Bangle 5 Series, right? Because it was like, the 607 didn't work.
Yeah.
But those did. I mean, they were cool. They were a respectable car. I really like them. I think they've aged well. I think they do look good.
And indeed, when I grew up, people with status drove this.
Yeah.
Rich people drove this. So this is a car that I will always look at and think, yes, heck yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And I do like the design of it, and I like the lights, the way they kind of splay out at the back.
Exactly, and I also love the interior. I think it still looks nice. It still looks good, the interior.
The only thing I didn't like about that, and it was because, again, everyone, when I was on my work placement, had a BMW 3 Series or a 5 Series.
Yeah.
The key, and Volvo did this as well for some reason, had to go in the dash.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone had their keys on it. So
my V40 had that too, yeah. So all wrangle, tangle all the time. Yeah. Okay.
Terrible idea. Looked awful.
I really wonder how your first choice can be more bonkers than that Rolls Royce. You've been ready for a long while.
I feel like I've won with this.
Okay, come on.
I do not know how you can better this.
Come on. Hey, hold up. You're going crazy and I'm giving sensible consumer advice. Again, I'm repeating, I'm giving sensible consumer advice. So we have different objectives here.
So I also went with BMW.
Okay.
And when I found this, I was like, actually, we can all just go home. We're finished now. Because this is not only beautiful and fast.
Is that an Alpina?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how did you get it for that money?
I mean, something must be broken.
You bought an Alpina E28? Holy crap. You have won this. What the hell is this actually? How the hell did you find it for that budget? Whoa. Wait a second. There's this car guy on Instagram that owned one of these. Do you know Puff Talks Cars? It's the one I talked also in my episode with Daniel with, and he owned exactly a car like this, which is funny. Oh wait, is it an individual or is it? Oh, this is so good. The blue lining of the interior,
right? I mean, the seats are they look a bit worn, but for that money,
yeah, 728i Sport. What engine does it have? 6-cylinder? Yeah, probably.
This is the only one you've actually literally taken my phone off of me to look at. Like the others, you've just like, yeah, they're all good. But this one, you're just like, I need a moment.
This is really good. And you're £90 over budget.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I'll haggle. It's fine.
I'll give you that. But this is, oh my God, it even has a nice lining, striping on the outside. I'm proud of you. This is really good, but there must be something wrong with this.
There must be. I haven't read. I have purposely not read the description. I did on the Rolls Royce because I thought that'd be funny if it was like the water pump doesn't work.
Yeah, but, there must be something wrong with this.
I don't know. I don't think there is.
This is so good. I love it.
I only found it the other day, and I was worried it would have gone.
The advert says it's all fine.
Full service history as well.
God, I need that. You need to make screenshots. I need this because it will be gone quite quickly.
It is so beautiful. I was like, this can't be real.
No, it's so good. Wow.
But I was like, this is exactly.
Okay, you won. Because I'm going to be fucking boring after this.
Yeah, I know, but I'm really excited to see.
Yeah.
Because that is also going to be expensive. That's gonna eat fuel.
Mine's probably not going to be expensive. You know the saying, if you can't beat them, join them.
It's a Fiat Chroma, isn't it?
Nope. Okay, so...
I don't even know where this is going.
Okay, no, I'm being sensible. I'm honestly being sensible. I'm not even kidding. Listen, Dan and Maurice have diagnosed me with Vectra fever. They think
it's a Vectra.
They think everything that I like is a Vectra or a Vectra in drag. So I've owned up to it. I do like it. The Vectra is a good car. I like it. It's boring, but it's sensible. And for some reason, I also like the design. I have, however, not gone for a Vectra because I was looking, what kind of car will you buy if you need to travel Europe with probably some passengers? You do not want to break down. You want some space, you want luxury, and you all want that at a price of 8,000 euros with low mileage, good spec, a good engine.
Is this car blue?
No. I went first to think of a Ford Mondeo, but then I thought, no, because this would be a safe choice. So I actually went to look for the car market and think, what is a good hack that I would actually recommend to people?
I'm so scared.
I'm very boring right now. It's an Opel Insignia.
Oh, I mean,
and I found very many of them. Here, 1.6T Sport, 6,250 euros. It is 13 years old, has only driven 150,000 kilometers. Next one, Opel Insignia 2.0T Sport 4x4 has driven 150,000 kilometers. It is 15 years old, 7,950 euros. It has leather. It is 4x4. Everything's
this is probably show me the 4x4 one. That's probably the most interesting.
What do we have here too? We have a Sports Tour 2.0 edition. It is an automatic too. It has a tan leather interior. It is only costing 8,000 euros. You can get a really nice mileage. Here, I have 5.
Yeah.
You can look at them.
Shit,
I even have a facelift here. Facelift 1.4T, 140 HP, EcoFlex. This car is 10 years old, 8,000 euros. You get a wagon with everything you need. This is perfect. Okay, I'm gonna give you the 4x4 here. There you go. The 4x4 is really nice.
I mean, I think I would pick the 4x4.
You can even get a 6-cylinder for 8,000 euros.
And the 4x4 is a sedan as well, so it's got a nice interior. Leather.
You know what this actually is? This is the better Saab 9.5 new generation.
Oh, God.
Because the Saab 9.5 new generation, and I know I will get all the Saab lovers hating on me, that is made heavier and made more decadent and more expensive than this Opel Insignia. If you want a good Saab 9.5, get the Opel Insignia.
You heard it here first, and we'll hear it nowhere else ever again.
Listen, I feel like I have hacked once again the car market.
I mean,
get an Opel Insignia, people.
This 2-litre Sport 4x4 is actually quite nice.
You will have to deal with absolutely terrible engines with a turbo lag that is bigger than the interior of your Rolls-Royce. No, you will have to tell everyone that you have a new car because no one will notice because it's that boring that no one will actually pay attention to your car. You'll be driving in comfort. You'll be laughing.
Everyone will think you're an Uber driver.
Maybe. Opel, no. We have Mercedes for that. Here.
Oh, really? Fancy.
Yeah, everyone, all the taxis in the Netherlands are Mercedes. But I'm very curious for the poll outcome in which I'll poll your BMW 7 individual Alpina-like-esque thing against my Opel Insignia.
I wonder how many votes the Insignia will get.
Listen,
I mean, I will. I like a shit car as much as the next person, but I think even I in that competition would be like, yeah, the BMW.
Yeah, but the Opel Insignia, I feel like for everyone who does not like cars and just needs a good car to drive from A to B in luxury, get that Insignia. Honestly, I feel like I've hacked the car market.
Yeah. Wow.
You're not convinced.
What was the first one again?
I started with Phaeton.
Oh yeah, the Phaeton. Yeah. I'd pick the Phaeton over
Phaeton E65 series.
Yeah, and that as well.
And then the Insignia.
I couldn't imagine wanting to spend that long in the Insignia.
I do like the interior of the Insignia.
Yeah.
Good, okay. You're not convinced.
No.
Anyways, that has marked the end of the podcast. I hope actually that people are now inspired by my Insignia.
Yes.
Get a Mondeo. Get a Mondeo or a Passat, honestly, yeah.
Anything but an Insignia.
Yeah, no. Well, thank you for coming all the way here from Edinburgh to Elst to Maastricht. It was honestly a hoot. I enjoyed it.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, also the pre-fun before just picking cars, feeling like I've hacked the automotive market. It was a lot of fun, and I loved having this chat with you today.
And you as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we're going for some car spotting and for food, I guess, right?
Yeah, and then I have a 2.5-hour train journey back.
Love it. Thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye-bye.